Hey, how's it going, everyone? Marco Moreno here, and today here talking with Professor Scott Burr. Professor Scott is coming to Master Jiu-Jitsu this Saturday to give us a seminar, and I'm super happy to have this opportunity. Professor Scott, can you share with us your background in Jiu-Jitsu and what can we expect of the seminar?
Sure. Well, first of all, great to talk to you, and thank you so much for having me out. I'm really looking forward to getting on the mat with you and all your guys. I started jujitsu in 2006. I was in another martial art at the time, a Korean style, like a kick punch, standing joint lock style. MMA started coming on the scene. We all started getting really into MMA, and we realized we needed to incorporate jujitsu. There was a local blue belt that was running a club, and we started training with him. Um, and so training, we were getting more and more into MMA. My main training partner and my original martial arts instructor at the time decided he wanted to open a second space to teach MMA out of. And so we opened that space. I started teaching there. Uh, as we were talking about earlier, at the time, Steve Maxwell, who was one of the first black belts in America,
Yep.
had just sold his school in Philadelphia and was starting to travel around the country, just teaching seminars year round. And we connected with him, really hit it off with him. And so I started training with Steve a lot. He would come through and teach seminars. I would travel with him, and eventually I got all my belts from Steve, white through black. Blue through black. I was Steve's first black belt. And then in 2017, the opportunity to start training with Master Rickson. And so started traveling out to California to train with him as much as possible. And yeah, that's been training with him for the past 8 years. I got my third degree from Rickson in July of 2023. And so
Cool.
that's the very short version. Also have a second degree black belt in judo. Also did a lot of Muay Thai, a lot of boxing. Those of you who were around in the mid to late 2000s might remember Steve's famous joint mobility videos and his 300 workout videos. So all that material I got a deep education in from him. And so looking forward to sharing as much of that as I can with you guys when we're together.
Awesome. And Steve is a Helson black belt, Helson Gracie black belt, and we are a Helson Gracie school. So we are sharing kind of
Yeah,
the same lineage in a way, right? We didn't know that.
absolutely. Well,
Uh,
yeah. So yeah, Steve was Helson's first black belt,
yeah.
and like the first guy to teach jujitsu on the East Coast of the U.S. He was there before Henzo even opened up in New York. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I heard of his school.
long Helson
I-
history on the East Coast.
Scott, tell us about your experience training with Hickson. Um, because I watch his videos and that's a jujitsu that I like, which is would you call it like advanced basics? He's not teaching, and when you come here on Saturday, you're not gonna teach a new upside down super you get a guard, correct? What's the type of jujitsu?
Correct. No, I mean, no. My training with Hickson has been nothing but flying arm bars and
Ah.
inversions. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it's all. I mean, Hickson's jujitsu is so. Um, it is so. I guess let's jump back. We were talking a minute ago about Michael, our mutual friend Michael Casey,
Hmm.
right? And so Michael is one of the people who's been in this, this little group training with Rickson, me, Chris Burns, Jack Taufer, Michael, this little core you see in all these pictures. And so Michael and I have a lot of conversations about what exactly is it that makes Rickson's Jiu-Jitsu. He calls it invisible Jiu-Jitsu. What does that mean? He often refers to base, connection, the middle, these sort of intangible aspects. And so Michael started coming up with this term, the language of invisible jujitsu, and that all of the techniques that Rickson shows or teaches or uses, they're an expression of these invisible principles. So the principles are strategy, base, weight distribution, connection, timing, distance, leverage. And that when you express the perfect version of each of these things in each of these specific minute engagement types, you maximize your effectiveness within this specific engagement, even when you're the smaller, weaker party. Your personal possibility of effectiveness is maximized within this. So it's very much about finding the strongest version, the perfect angle, the perfect distance, the perfect leverage, the perfect engagement point, the perfect, I don't put my frame here, I put my frame here. I don't put it at this angle, I put it at that angle. I don't go now, I go now. Like optimizing each of those things. So from the outside, if you were just taking pictures to put it in a book, you'd be like, well, look, doing it perfectly like that looks the same as doing this basic version. But the subtlety of the specificity of the perfection of these elements is what the training has been about exploring. So we're taking basic positions. We're taking the self-defense that every white belt should be being introduced to. Guy puts you in a headlock, guy puts you in a headlock and punches you, guy bear hugs you. But finding the perfect base within that, finding the perfect angle within that, and it's irrefutable when you feel the difference between how hard it can be when your timing isn't right, your base isn't right, your distance isn't right, your angle isn't right, and when it is. And so it's something that's simple but profound. It's something that's kind of obvious that everybody misses. And so it's like getting to train with Rickson is just this, like, get on the mat and we go down these rabbit holes. We just go explore deep into these positions. And so you discover, it's an incredible, yeah, like you said, his jiu-jitsu is not adding this like, oh, there's somebody developed the guard of the galaxy, so let's see what that's all about. It's not about this shallow puddle getting wider and wider and wider. It's about this smaller puddle, whatever, getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. This body of knowledge the knowledge is so deep.
I get it. I was in a seminar with Pedro Sauer, and he's saying he was talking about Rickson, and he was saying that maybe because he's getting older, or maybe because he's Parkinson's disease, but Pedro Sauer is that now Rickson Jiu-Jitsu feels exactly like what Elio was doing when Elio was old, which was super focused on the small little things. Do you think that that's accurate to say?
100%. I think one of the things that's interesting is like there'll be things like when we're with him where we'll be talking about a position and whatever, we'll be going into something and I'll do something or he'll do something and I'll resist it or more, it's more like I'll be drilling a position with a smaller person. And I'll say, well, I feel like you could do this. Couldn't I do this? And he'll say like, well, Scott, you're pretty strong, and he's pretty, so, and I'll say like, no, I feel like I'm using a lot of leverage and a lot of position. And he says, yeah, but you're very strong. And it's like, the message is like, yeah, you may have leverage in position, but you just don't recognize when you have it, what your strength is doing for you. It's almost invisible to you. You can't imagine what it would be to not have it. But when you don't have it, when your physicality starts to diminish, and you suddenly realize that the thing that you never even saw because you took it for granted so much is gone. You have to solve for, okay, your leverage has to be perfect. Your position has to be perfect. Your weight distribution has to be perfect. And when it has to be perfect, you learn and you see and you develop these details and these insights that you just don't see otherwise, right? It's a little bit like, I think, I don't have any kids, but I think it's like one of these things like when people are like, well, when you have kids, you'll understand. And if you don't have kids, you can kind of go, well, no, I can imagine what it would be like, but it's just different.
Right.
And then once you have kids, you go, oh, I get it. I just get it. And so I think even for me where I go like, no, I feel like my position, my leverage is really good. I know there are things that I don't get just because it's almost like I can't imagine, we always, as instructors, we're always doing the game where we say, well, imagine what if you were 110 pounds and you had to do this move. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, I can try to imagine that, but I'm not 110
Right.
pounds. I don't have to solve that problem. And I can watch somebody who's 110 pounds and try to give them insights about how to do it. But it's not the same as being in that body and that position and having to find the insight. I think absolutely. What Pedro Sauer is saying is, I mean, obviously, Pedro's a brilliant, insightful instructor. Of course, he's right. Right?
Pastor Scott, we're very excited to have you here, and also for our students. Scott, you also are certified on Steve Maxwell uh, condition training program, strength and conditioning program. So if anybody has a question
Absolutely.
regarding workout, how to balance, what a workout is the best for jiu-jitsu, you can also give us some tips for that, correct?
100%. And I'm yeah, certainly more than happy to go into all that. Um, yeah, field a lot of questions from people, especially because a lot of the people I talk to are uh, older, right? They're trying to keep physicality as they get older, and they have limited time for their training, and they need to get in another workout, but they don't have time to get into class. And so all these questions of trying to compose a supplemental training program that makes you that adds to your practice, that helps your body stay more. The term Steve always used to use is he'd say your supplemental training is supposed to help inure you to injury. It's supposed to make your body more resilient. These are very interesting rabbit holes that we can go.
Thank you so much, and we're waiting for you here on Saturday. We cannot wait, and I'll see you then.
Man, I'm really looking forward to it. I'll see all you guys this weekend.
All right, Professor. Thank you so much.